Now, I don't preach about money all the time. If I come to it in a passage of Scripture, I'm going to deal with it like normal. And also, when we have our stewardship emphasis, I think it's important to do this occasionally and annually. That's what I do. Now, when I think about this, to me, it's a good question. Why should I tithe as a Christian? And you could ask probably 4 or 5 different preachers that same question, and you would get maybe a few different answers. Some would tell you, well, tithing's not for today. Others would say, well, it doesn't matter how you tithe or where you tithe as long as you tithe. Others would say, well, you should give, but it's not necessarily a mandatory thing. Well, I think there are some Bible passages that deal with it very clearly. And I think we can come to some logical conclusion on whether or not we should be involved in tithing, or if you just want to call it giving. I personally practice tithing. I have ever since I understood what it meant to tithe. When I first started this practice, I was a new Christian, 19 years old, had a good paying job, especially for a 19-year-old young man. I was a welder, and I heard a tithe meant 10. So every time the offering came by, I put a $10 bill in, just as much as I could. I didn't always have one with me, but I said tithe, $10 bill. And then someone explained to me, no. In fact, this is a fellow that led the Lord. I started asking him questions. And so I asked him about it. He said, well, a tithe is 10% of your income. And he said, if you make $100, that's $10. If you make $1, that's a dime. Now I want to ask you a question, class. How much of it belongs to God? All of it. But God says that we are to give to His work so that the work can continue. I'm sure I've said this before, and I think you probably understand this. There are 2 great hindrances to the work of God being accomplished. You know what they are? Manpower and money. Now, I realize that I'm looking at it from the physical side. Spiritually speaking, a great hindrance is a lack of prayer. We can deal with that. I can preach a series of sermons on that. And by the way, I want to tell you, I think every year, we've had it 2 years in a row now, the prayer emphasis for a week leading up to the start of the year, actually starting the year. And I think you can sense the power of God that is evident after that focused time of prayer by a group of people that come to this church and pray. I think it's just a powerful thing. And folks, we don't want to get away from that. We may need to schedule that more often or periodically throughout the year. But I'm dealing with on the practical side, I guess, if you want to say it that way. And the reality is, if God has our heart, He generally has our pocketbook. And but those are the 2 things. You know, when we think about starting a ministry, when you think about missions, what are the 2 things you always hear about? We need people to surrender, to be missionaries. And we need the money to send those missionaries to the parts of the world that need missionaries. And so manpower and money certainly has a lot to do. You say, well, preacher, you're getting on a subject that really shouldn't be dealt with in the church. Well, how about if you're the place of business, wherever you work, felt that way? What if they just expected you to show up, and when you got ready on Friday or whatever to receive your paycheck, they said, hey, that's not, it's a reward in itself. Why are you looking for money? Or let's say you're the boss and all of a sudden you're manpower. Nobody shows up for money. You can have all the money in the world but no manpower to pay to get the job done. Pretty soon the money's going to run out as well. So it is a practical issue. It is something we can deal with. So look in your Bible to Malachi chapter 3. Malachi chapter 3. We're going to read a few verses here. Then we're going to move around in the text, in the scriptures. And again, this is a why because question. Why should I tithe? Or should I even tithe? And my answer to you is not going to be because. Now, I've had it once in my life where people would ask me a question, spiritual question, I might say because. When I was a new Christian and somebody said, why do you tithe? I had to say, well, because Brother Frank told me I should have. Well, now I understand it from a scriptural standpoint. Now, Malachi chapter 3. Now, let me tell you Sometimes they brought grain, they brought whatever type of offering it was that they were told to bring. But that was their monetary system, was a lot of it there. But now, here's what the context of Malachi chapter 3, the book of Malachi itself. The children of Israel have been in exile. And then some of them go back and they rebuild the temple. Later on, Nehemiah comes back. Ezra's the leader of the temple rebuild. And then later on, Nehemiah comes back and they rebuild the walls. We're in between the building, that restoration of the temple, and the rebuilding of the walls here in Malachi chapter 3. If I understand my history correctly, I believe that's about where they are. So they've gone back to the nation of Israel, and they have the opportunity here, and they are dealing with the issue of providing funds for the work of the ministry here in the context of Malachi chapter 3. And God says it in very plain terms, will a man rob God? The answer is, you have robbed me. That's what he says to the children of Israel here in this context. Now, there's a principle here that I want to apply before we preach the message. You can apply this in many areas, not necessarily this particular sense, because there were some other things the people of God were not doing right in this time as well. The priests weren't preaching right or teaching right. They were misbehaving. They weren't endorsing the scripture. They were questioning, and the people of God were questioning, why in the world should I serve God anyway? And you know what? I think sometimes in the day in which we live, we get to a place where it's kind of like, what benefit? Am I really making a difference? Am I really doing any good? Why serve God at all? I want to tell you, you can serve God because He's God. You and I may not see the rewards or benefits in this life that we expect. The children of Israel didn't get what, the apostles didn't get what they expected out of Jesus, did they? But then later they understood to serve Him because of it. And so, there might be some other ways we can apply the principle here. If I am disobedient to God in any area, I hinder God's blessing on my life. That's a simple one. Let me throw one out there that's very prevalent in society, which is promiscuity, immorality. People having a physical relationship before they are married, okay? Or a married person going out and having a physical relationship with someone else that they're not married to. Everybody understand what I'm talking about, right? We live in a day and a society where that is very prevalent. Now, Christians, listen to me. You cannot expect God to bless your life and you run around and do things like walk with you. God expects you to live a pure life. And don't think that God will, listen to me now, don't think that God will keep you physically safe from disease and different things like that. You go out and do things you know that are wrong. Now, let's go back to the text. We're talking about tithing here. Verse number 7. God says, even from the days of your fathers, ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Listen to what he says here. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Here's a specific case in point. Yes. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, and there may be meat in mine house. Prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Verse 11 is a great verse that goes along with this. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, this in context is God dealing with the children of Israel about their matter of tithing and really about their matter of non-tithing. Some people were bringing God some offerings here in Malachi. You can see it in Malachi chapter, I believe it's chapter 2. He deals with, chapter 1. Look at verse number 8. Look at verse number 8 here. Some people were bringing God some leftovers, so to speak. When they were supposed to bring God the best of their flock, they were bringing Him whatever was what they didn't want. Let's say it that way. Malachi 1:8 says, if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? I doing? Is it scriptural for me today? Let's go back and look at the first place the tithe is mentioned. Genesis chapter 14. Genesis chapter 14. We call this the first mentioned principle. Many of you probably heard that before. Genesis chapter 14. We have the first place we read about a tithe in the Bible. Now, that's a pretty interesting thing when you think about it, that this is the first time we see that mentioned. And the whole principle of first mention is so that you can go back and kind of get an understanding of how something was used in that first place that it was used, and learn some principles to go along with it. We'll do that here in just a moment. Genesis 14 and verse number 18 here. The Bible says, "And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God." Let me give you a little context behind this too. Lot, of course, was taken captive of Sodom and Gomorrah's people. Remember that? And Abraham armed his servants, and they went out and they fought against the kings that had taken them captive, and they liberated them. Several kings involved in this, and then Lot comes out, and Abraham comes out rather, and God sends Melchizedek to bless you. And this is the context of it. Look at verse number 19. Melchizedek was the king of Salem, but he also was the priest of the Most High God. Verse 19, and he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand." And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, "Give me the persons and take the goods to thyself." And Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have lifted mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I make Abraham rich." And we'll stop our reading right there in this context. So, this is the first place this is mentioned. If you want to see a New Testament picture of this, go to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 7. Hebrews chapter 7 records this event again. Psalm 110, we have it mentioned there. Melchizedek, rather, is mentioned. Melchizedek, by the way, is kind of a mystery to students of the Bible. And he's sort of one of those people that we don't fully comprehend. And I'll say a few things about him in just a moment. But look at Hebrews chapter 7. He's mentioned in verse 20 of chapter 6. It says, Jesus is made a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So that links him with Christ in a very important way. Verse number 1 of chapter 7. "For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings, and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all." First being by interpretation the king of righteousness, which is Melchizedek, and after that also king of Salem, which is the king of peace. Without father. Now this is describing Melchizedek. Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually. Now consider how great this man was, and to whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoil. That's a pretty interesting context and passage of scripture about it. So as you read this, you see this again bringing up the fact that Abraham gave tithes to Melchizedek. In verse number 4, we see the definition of a tithe there. It is a tenth part. So there's no question about what the Bible means when it comes to a tithe. Many believe that Melchizedek was actually the pre-incarnate Christ based on the description here in Hebrews. And we certainly are not going to argue about that. But we see a big think you need to understand is that this establishes the principle of tithing before the law was even in existence. A lot of people want to say, well, tithing, that's the law. You're being legalistic if you preach tithing at all. And I'm not going to argue with people. They can believe what they want to. But I personally believe that this is a principle established in the Word of God that came before the law was given. In fact, it's about 400 years before the law was given. Now, we can conclude about Abraham's motive here for tithing. We don't know where he got the number. We don't know where he got the principle, except perhaps from God. And what we see here is that for Abraham, it was really an act of worship. I've said to you before, when we get ready to receive our offering, that is a time of worship. I think it's important that we recognize this thing. You are having to trust God. It's an act of faith. But when I give something from my hand to the Lord's hand, it's supposed to be the first thing that I give. And it's like the picture of that best lamb, that sacrifice, not the one that's torn, not the one that's left over, not the one that's lame or sick, but that best lamb, and I bring it, and it's my first fruits, if you will, and I give that to the Lord, acknowledging Him first. Guess what? That is an act of worship. It's saying I trust God more than I trust my paycheck. There's a lot of things that can be applied there. And I think if we follow the context of this event, we find that God was pleased with Abraham's act of worship. If you read further down in Genesis chapter 15 and verse 1, God says there that He would reward Abraham. He reminds him of His promises that He made to him, but He said, I will be your shield and I will be your exceeding great reward. So at the very least, we see it as an act of worship. We see that it pleases the Lord. One would have to ask where the idea of tithe or 10% came from. As you study through the scriptures, though, it seems clear that God led Abraham concerning that particular amount. So we see the first mention predates the law. So it puts tithing as an act of worship and really an act of appreciation that came before the law was existed. It was Abraham, and who did He give these tithes to? He gave them, at the very least, to God's representative, the priest of Most High God, who is a picture of Christ. And as I've said, I believe we can see a picture of the church there in Him. Turn to Leviticus 27. Leviticus 27. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Amen. Right. I'll tell you what, it's interesting how few sermons come from the Old Testament. And I've been listening to different preachers, and a lot of preachers kind of stay away from the Old Testament. Sadly, we miss out some great truth when we do that. Some of these books, I must confess, to be much more difficult to preach than others. And so, Leviticus 27. Notice verse number 30 there. This is where the tithe is incorporated into the law. God did give a mandate for the children of Israel when He gave the law, including the tithe in that. But verse 30 says, and the tithe of the land, which whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord. It is holy unto the Lord. And if a man will at all redeem all of his tithes, he shall add thereto the 10th part thereof. So, we see here in Leviticus 27, verse 30, that the tithe is incorporated into the law. Let me read on verse 34. And concerning the tithe of the herd, the flocks, even of whatsoever passeth over the rod, the 10th shall be holy unto the Lord. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy, shall not be redeemed. These are the commandments which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai. So, no question that tithing was incorporated into the law. Now, there's an interesting fact to consider along with this, too. Tithing was incorporated into the law around the same time that the priesthood was established. The tabernacle was built and organized worship was. So that's a part of the context of understanding what it was all about. Support, under this system, the tithe was used to support the priest Jeremiah 13:5 is an interesting verse on that. It says, "And he prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offering, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the offerings of the priests." So you see, in the context here was being used to take care of all that were involved in the temple worship and the temple service. It's interesting to note that a separate offering was taken as part of the tithe, apart from the tithe, for the upkeep of the temple. We don't have time to look at that, but the atonement offering is described in Exodus 30, 13 through 16, and it would be a picture of maybe a building offering or some special need, I think. Just equate that to it. Tithing is only mentioned in one other place between Genesis 14 and Leviticus 27. Go with me to Genesis 28. Genesis chapter 28. Genesis chapter 28. See another patriarch, verse number 16. This time it's a guy by the name of Jacob. He's related to the other guy, by the way. Genesis chapter 28 and verse number 16. We're down to verse 22. It says, "And Jacob awaked out of his sleep." Now, he had seen a vision of the Lord. And this is the angel ascending and descending and so forth. Verse number 16. I believe he had a pillow for a rock here. A rock for a pillow, I mean. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not." And he was afraid, and said, "How dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, "If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat, and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that thou givest me I will surely give to him." That's an interesting passage of scripture, by the way. And I think Jacob was still in the deal-making business right here. By the time God finishes training Jacob, though, he comes back across that river. He gets ready to cross. He's getting ready to meet his brother face to face again, and he wrestles all night with the Lord.